After inheriting her uncle's farm, an independent woman finds herself pursued by three very determined suitors in Far from the Madding Crowd.
Hi, I'm Carrie Mulligan. Welcome to Made in Hollywood. This is a scene from Far from the Madding Crowd.
It's your uncle's will. He's left you everything. Oh my goodness.
What did you see in this character's being that struck a chord with you?
Lots of different things. I mean, I think she's amazingly a very modern woman, written by a man 150 years ago. She's really forward-thinking, and she's got an awful lot going on. She's a lot of different things. She's a real contradiction.
From now on, you have a mistress, not a master. It is my intention to astonish you all.
And all of that stuff is fun to play. It's fun to play somebody who doesn't totally know themselves and who's spending a journey trying to figure that out.
Mr. Baldwood, Miss Everdeen, your neighbor.
Good hunting, Miss Everdeen.
I've heard that in every character an actor plays, he sees a little bit of himself. Did you see any of yourself in this character?
I only see myself. That's all I've got to work with. I can't play anyone else. I can only play me, because that's the only person I know about. And then you do the work of building up an understanding of the things that aren't like you know. So he's from a different period. He has a different set of circumstances in his life.
Do I see myself? Do I identify? Well, I'm working on myself. I'm working on myself. I think if every man could try to become Mr. Oak, then the world would be a better place.
Miss Everdeen's here now, so you better do your best work.
Perhaps you've got to lend a hand.
You don't think I would?
No, you wouldn't.
Did you learn about farming, the land, and all of that stuff, and dealing with animals and all?
Yeah, I mean, I had a fair amount of experience just being, I have friends who are farmers, and I grew up sort of in the countryside, so I was familiar a lot with that life, but we had brush-up lessons on scything and baling and sheep washing.
Of course, I love that. That's learning things that otherwise I would never learn. So that's fun. Washing sheep, shaving sheep, sharpening knives, debloating sheep, horse riding, all that stuff. I love that.
He's rich. He's handsome.
Miss Everdeen, I want very much to have you as my wife.
I think it's weird and amazing that the story was written 150, 40 years ago, and it's still so relevant and so contemporary right now.
Yeah.
Just her struggles in life.
That's often the case with great classic literature, is the reason that people revisit it, is there's always something to relate to. It's the reason that we do Hamlet over and over again. It's, you know, if an audience can connect to basic universal themes, then a story is worthy of retelling.
I was really struck by how contemporary it felt. And in a way, that's a really sad reflection because, you know, a story of a woman who is not only, you know, is not a subservient woman, she's an independent woman, she's a boss, she's an employer, and looking at all the different relationships, it's in some ways, you know, hopefully before too long that won't be unique.
All the emotional dynamics that are going on between all of these characters are easily translatable to a modern day and age. And this woman, like 150 years ago, this is like a depiction of an independent woman. Back then, women weren't portrayed in that way, not even perceived in that way.
And this story is that, it's love and grief and loss and growing up, which is what she does through the story.
Miss Bathsheba Everdeen, would you like to marry me?
Mr. Oak, I don't want a husband. If I ever were to marry, I'd want somebody to tame me, and you'd never be able to do it.
This may sound weird, but I feel like she is Katniss Everdeen's cousin, sister, or something. There's a connection.
I would say Katniss is probably her cousin.
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
Or her great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter.
There's a connection because it was inspired.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. And I think that's great that, you know, that Bathsheba Everdeen, that character has inspired, I think, probably a few more characters than just Katniss Everdeen.
It is difficult for a woman to define her feelings in a language chiefly made by men to express theirs.
I think as an actor, if there's ever a role that you're going to take just because of the locations, this might be it. I mean, I feel like the locations were fantastic.
There was a lot going for this film for me. Yeah. It's known as Hardyland where we shot it because it's where Thomas Hardy set most of his novels, and it's in a lot of ways it's very unchanged from that time. It's so beautiful, the landscape.
In the book, the landscape is such a huge character, and it's so important that you have that feeling. And we were spoiled for choice every day with where we were filming.
Charlotta, who shot the film, our DP, she just did a fantastic job with it. It looks beautiful, and but also it feels very true to the period, but it also feels very contemporary. That's what I was struck by when I saw it. I thought they got a really great balance of that.
Thomas, our director, was constantly sending crews off to go and film sunsets because they kept on getting more beautiful.
Miss Everdeen will never marry you.
Made in Hollywood.